Hi, my name is Lori Fisher, and I will be your student science teacher this year. Before we get started, I'd like to just go over a few things with you. First, thank you for being flexible this year. Everything I'm going to show you tonight is subject to change based on the instructional model that we're under. So if there are any changes to what I'm going to tell you about tonight, I will make sure to clearly communicate that with your student, as well as to make announcements on Canvas. Secondly, um, please communicate with me, and I will do the same. If you find out that your student is struggling, if something is not clear, if you are confused on how anything is presented, please let me know. I want to make sure that we are partnering together so that your student and we can all be successful this year. Lastly, my focus is on safety as well. We will be wearing masks in my classroom. So if any of my students are watching this is what I will look like when you see me on Monday or Tuesday of next week. In addition, we're going to try and social distance as much as we can. I also have the benefit of having 6 sinks in my classroom. So for those students who are physically with me, the routine will be they will walk in my door and put their books on their desks and then go to one of my sinks, wash their hands, and then go back to their desk to get ready for the day. If for my students who are virtual, I'm going to ask them to check in with me, and then I want them to go and wash their hands and then come back. So they're just in that routine of always washing their hands in the beginning of my class. This is Honors Life Science, so I just also like to give you a little bit of a description of how Honors Life Science differs from regular life science. I'm the only teacher that teaches Honors Life Science, so I have 3 Honors Life Science classes, so they would all be done the same way. First, my students who are in honors have a little bit more independence as far as doing homework and just there's more responsibility put on them for their learning. I'm happy to help them in any way that I can, but I'm not going to spoon feed them all of the answers. There are more dissections to complete an honors. My regular kids will dissect 3 things, and my honors kids dissect 5. The tests are different between regular life science and honors life science. Honors Life Science, in the past, I've done a 2-day test where they take a multiple choice section the first day and then an open-ended section the second day. I'm not quite sure yet how testing is going to work, but their tests will be different and more application-based. Their labs are more inquiry-based, and there's more things that they need to figure out. So I may not give them a data table. They may have to figure out how to do that. They might have to figure out their own procedure and how to write that up. And the honors moves a little bit faster, and there's usually a bit more vocabulary. So if you have any questions at all, if you see your son or daughter struggling, please let me know so I can help them. So to look at the syllabus, which I have here, the syllabus is posted on Canvas, and it'll be posted in your student's digital notebook, which is called OneNote. I am available this evening from 6:30 to 8:30 if you have questions. My email address is at the top here. And so if you email me with questions or comments between 6:30 and 8:30 tonight, I will be at my computer ready to respond. I just want to give you a couple of highlights from my syllabus. You certainly can read through it. And if you have questions, you can contact me. Required materials, my expectation is that your student will bring their laptop charged every day because we'll be using laptops quite a bit. In addition, most of our work will be digital. But if they can bring a folder or a 3-ring binder with them, just for those instances where I may have to give them a paper or something to bring home, then they can keep that all organized. I do have the materials underneath optional materials that we will be sharing in class. I'm going to do my best so that the sharing of those materials is limited to just a few students. I'm going to put them in plastic bags so that only one table will work with one bag. But if you have a concern about that, you certainly may send in some of those supplies with your student. Classroom behaviors, my expectation is that my students are cooperative and not invasive, and we'll talk about that the first day, and you can see there the consequences for students choosing to prevent either themselves or another student from learning. And I would contact you with any kind of concerns I might have. Grading and late work policy, grades are based on the number of points that they would earn. Labs, assignments, and tests are how they usually get their grades. Labs and assignments I categorize into graded and non-graded. So if it's a graded assignment, then a student may not collaborate with another student. If they have a question on an assignment, they should see me. I want to make sure that the grade they get on that is reflective of what they understood. If it's a non-graded assignment, like questions to answer based on reading that they're doing, and they have a question, they may certainly collaborate with another student as long as they're not copying from each other. We will give a test at the end of every unit. There is a final exam at the end of the year. My expectation is that all assignments should be completed by the due date. There is no loss of points for handing in a late assignment. However, failure to complete assignments on a regular basis may result in lunch detention, and I certainly would notify you. I also give no extra credit. So I want to make sure that your student's grade is reflective of their understanding of the material in my class and not responsibility. So that's why I set up my grading system like that. We are going to use Canvas, of course, as our learning management system, all of their assignments, and I'm hoping that most of their work will be turned in on Canvas this year. And then OneNote is the name of the digital notebook that we will be trying this year. Absences, if you know your student is going to be absent, if they can see me, I can give them the work ahead of time. If it's unplanned, then they should check Canvas. Okay, so I would also then just like to show you how my Canvas course is set up. This is what my homepage looks like. Those are the times for my honors classes. So your student would just find their class and they would click on the Zoom link if they are at home virtually coming into my class. If you could encourage your student to open their Zoom a couple of minutes before the actual start time, because it does take a couple of minutes until they would connect. And then I would let them into class from the waiting room. When my Canvas course is up and running, they would click here in the assignments row to go to their weekly calendar, and that's where they would be working from. And then I will make sure to go over how students will access Canvas. We will practice that, especially the first week, a little bit of information about me. And then there are a list of supplies, which we already went over. And then there are some troubleshooting notes that we're going to use when we get to OneNote. I know that was a quick overview. I am very excited to work with your son and daughter this year and also to work with you. Again, I will be available this evening from 6:30 to 8:30 if you have any questions for me. So thanks very much for tuning in.